You're listening to Living Podcariously, bringing you real men's perspectives, unfiltered, unapologetic, and uncensored. Recorded live in the Living Podcariously studio in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Welcome to Living Podcariously. This is episode number 9, and I'm one of your hosts. My name is Adam, and sitting across from me this week is my boy
Tach. What's up?
How you doing, Tach?
I'm actually not doing too great.
Uh-oh. What? You're coming in, you're bringing the show down right off the start?
I know. It's just, I'm just sharing with the group.
What happened?
Well, I have a cat at home that may be dying. May even be dead by the time we get home.
Oh, man. Yeah, you told me about that earlier. You texted me.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
It does suck, and, you know, it just...
Can I say the joke I texted you? I don't think Jimmy didn't know this yet. So, Jimmy... Well, we didn't introduce Jimmy. Why don't you introduce our guest?
All right, let's introduce our guest. Okay.
All right.
So we have a guest today. In studio, we have Jimmy Klein is with us today, joining us. And he is from the podcast Taint Funny. Jimmy, what's up?
How's it going?
Welcome, Jimmy. Thanks for coming in, dude.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
We've talked about you several times on the show, and now our listeners actually get to hear the Jimmy Klein.
Jimmy gets to hear the infamous Jimmy Klein.
Well, I believe your viewers have heard me before. Because I called in.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
MMA
You called him. That's right. MMA update. That's right. Yeah, so he does the MMA spot as well. So what's up? Tell us about yourself.
Not a whole lot. I'm I do the twisted. Wow. I do the Taint Funny podcast with you Tach, John, and Eric.
Yep.
We talk about just mainly media stuff, movies, anything media.
Indeed.
Yeah, thank you guys were nice enough to have me come in on a couple of your recent episodes. Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
For like a month.
Yeah. I like your smoke and mirrors that you guys do with the recording back to back.
Yeah, we record like 4 episodes a month. In one day, straight in a row.
So Living Podcariously kind of does that, since we have the Twisted 10 and Living Podcariously. We record them in the same night each week to release.
Yeah.
By the way, we are featuring Jimmy on an upcoming episode of the Twisted 10, which we just got done recording a little while ago. So,
indeed,
if you're looking for more content, more podcasts to listen to, like I always am,
more Jimmy.
More Jimmy.
This sounds like a commercial on the internet. If you want more Jimmy, take this pill. No, but we just finished recording that, so it kind of smoke and mirrors for us, but not really. It's 2 separate podcasts. But yeah, if you're looking for more content, like I always am looking for more podcasts to go listen to, check out our other podcasts, mine and Tach's little baby, the Twisted 10. But yeah, back to your cat, Tach. So Jimmy, I do my very best to try to find comedy in situations that are sometimes somber.
The best time for a joke.
We always do that. We're famous for that.
The best time is a joke?
The best time for a joke is the worst time for a joke.
Yeah.
That's what we always say. It's our motto.
I'm very bad at funerals. It just makes me uncomfortable.
I've made jokes at a funeral of somebody very, very close to me. I've made jokes during the funeral.
That's your way of grieving.
Not like in front of people, but like in front with the person next to me.
Yeah, it's your way to grieve. So I sent Tach a text, Jimmy, earlier, because he told me about his cat in a text.
Right.
And I'm sorry, seriously, Tach. I'm sorry that your cat is. I'm sorry that your cat is sick. But I said, there is a bonus to this, because if your cat dies before you get home tonight, at least your dog has another meal and you don't have to feed your dog. So
that's true, but then he has to deal with stinky pussy. I'm sorry, that was horrible.
That's a good point. I think Tach is known to dealing with stinky pussy in his past.
But here's the thing, like this cat, like I've had lots of cats, and I actually do have anyway. But like this cat was like my favorite. All right, and like he never did anything wrong.
Your other cat's not listening.
He never did anything wrong. He like never got in trouble. He was always just good, And he wasn't like these cats that you're like, I haven't seen the cat in 2 days. Where the hell is it? He wasn't like very social. Well, just with me anyway. He was always on my lap, always greeted me at the door when he came home every day. He just was always like that. And then yesterday he started. I think he has diabetes, and he's getting worse. And
you need to say that, like, what's the guy's name that says it on the
Wilford Brimley.
Diabetes.
And so it just kind of sucks. It's on my mind. It's in the back of my mind all day, and I'm worried that when I go home tonight, he's going to be dead on the carpet.
And Tach and I's lives have paralleled a lot. Like, we got our first girlfriends on the same day.
Same day. Well, I mean, we kind of
Was it the same?
that.
Was it the same girl?
It's the same girl. No.
It's kind of cool because we're Back to the Future fans, too, because it was November 5th.
November 5th. What was the year? 92?
92.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Now, me and Jimmy go way back. We go back since we've been friends since like 87. So we have a lot of. And here's what's kind of neat about having a wife like that.
Jimmy's the wife?
that's
Depends on what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
We switch up.
But here's what's odd about it. Okay, I still tell Jimmy stories he's never heard.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And he'll be like, and he'll tell me something like, "Hey, remember that time I went skiing and I cracked my head open and almost died?" I'm like, "No. When the fuck did that happen?"
A couple of weeks ago, I referenced working at Sea Ray. He's like, "When did you work at Sea Ray?" I'm like, "I worked in HR at Sea Ray." And he's like, "How have I never heard this before?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I have no idea. I don't know."
Fucking no.
But yeah.
But then again, let's go back to that. Jimmy likes to tell the same story over and over
I do.
again.
I think our listeners Tach are now understanding why you don't have a girlfriend currently, because you're infatuated with Jimmy. I think that's. I
had an ex-girlfriend one time. This is so funny. She goes, because I always talk to Jimmy on the phone like daily, you know, and she goes to me. She goes, "Have you ever had any past girlfriends have a problem with you and Jimmy's relationship?"
Awesome.
And I was like, "No, like, why? Do you? Like, what do you mean?
What's going on here?
Yeah, like, I've never even heard that before."
And she was like, "No."
"Yeah, exactly what she was like. No, I don't care.
Like, I have a problem with it.
Yeah." And I was like, "Do you have a problem with it?" She's like, "No, not at all." I was like, because nobody's ever said that ever. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Huh.
But it's weird how our lives have paralleled.
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
what he was saying. Go
it
ahead.
really, like, like some of the, like, most recently, just a couple of weeks ago, my dog died. And now he's having problems with his cat. And,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, our moms passed away. Was it 3 weeks apart from each other? 4
About 3 weeks apart. Totally unrelated.
Same hospital, same floor.
Holy
Right?
shit.
And so, I mean, and there's been all through our lives, there's been like parallels like that. Like, it's,
And our moms were best friends also.
yeah.
And it's just so weird that they died 3 weeks apart, completely unrelated. You know, it's just odd.
That is weird.
Yeah.
But there's so much more. I mean, we got pregnant at the same time.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are showing.
I mean, and it was to the point.
Tach, you're further along than Jimmy, though.
I mean, it was to the point where, like, I found out and I was like, "Hey, you're never gonna we're pregnant." And Tach's response was, "Shit."
Yeah.
That means I'm gonna get pregnant.
Yeah.
Damn
And
it.
Sure enough,
Sure enough, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just gave him an excuse to keep it in. That's all that did. Come on, but Jimmy's doing it.
Like, we have, I don't know if you've ever seen Tach's computer, but we didn't buy these planned or anything, but same year, same model, same RAM, same
Really?
software,
same model.
same everything.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
cool.
you two are lovebirds in here. I'm taking it.
No, we're not.
Our
We're
audience.
just fucking.
I've got those same shoes he's on, has on.
Well, that's because this is for a wedding.
I know. But still.
Okay. I got married. These are my marriage shoes.
Was
my
it really?
wedding
I have a
shoes.
pair. So our friend Josh, friend of the podcast,
Yeah.
his first marriage, I was one of the guys and one of the groomsmen for his marriage, and he bought all of his groomsmen matching shoes, and they were Converse. They were teal.
cool.
And they had the name of the wedding and stuff like that on it. But
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't do that far because we had white tuxes with red ties, and and then I made everybody buy their own shoes. So. But that way,
my first marriage, I bought my groomsmen all flasks, like pewter,
Right.
really nice pewter flasks with engraving on it, stuff like that. It's kind of cool.
I still have the pocket watch.
Okay, I was like, I know I got them some, but I didn't remember what.
All right, so let's talk about Jimmy for a second. So you do Taint Funny, we know that, and we've plugged that on this show because it's another one of Tach's projects that he works on. Are you, and if you don't want this aired in the show, that's fine, but are you progressing forward with your personal podcast that you're about to start doing?
I'm trying to, yeah. Like, I do photography on the side, and well, I mean, it's more than an aside thing, but and you have talked off air about this, but I love MMA, I love UFC. And I somehow managed to merge those two worlds, photography and MMA. and I did some photo shoots for some local MMA events. And I have a lot of friends that are, like almost rabid MMA fans that had no clue that we had local MMA. No idea. And the newspaper doesn't report on it. Local news doesn't report on it. And there's this like vacuum in this local MMA world. Nobody hears about it. Nobody knows about it.
Facebook and that's it.
Yeah. And so I started thinking about, I'm like, this is screaming for a podcast. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people involved with all this that would love to hear, like standings for.
That's an interesting angle. Would you focus that podcast on both local market MMA for Brevard County area as well as, reviews of obviously the MMA world as well?
I would probably focus more on Central Florida MMA. With kind of a focus on Brevard County. I mean, I would probably talk about, the national stuff to a degree if it's big news, but for the most part, I kind of think that the local people deserve to have their own
little voice in the community.
Like what my goal is like if, down the road we get talking about, some of the guys and everything. My goal is I want, scouts for some of the larger organizations to come to us and be like, do you have anybody you're keeping your eyes on? You know what I mean? Like,
cool,
is there anybody we need to be watching out for? I want to be that guy.
Well,
the way I worded Tach was, if you've seen that thing you do, you got Tom Hanks, who's the big guy, and then you have that other guy that actually discovered him, and he's just a local small
guy
thing.
in the Winnebago.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to be the guy in the Winnebago.
Or how about the guy in Oh Brother Where Art Thou that's sitting behind the glass, tapping on the mirror? That was somebody fine a picking and a stringing.
I fucking love the Coen brothers, dude. Like, are you familiar with Coen brothers' work?
Yes.
All of their characters in their movies are so colorful.
Yeah.
Like, they have amazing characters.
I was going to say, was that a play on the guys being...
Like, I recently saw... Sorry, I don't mean to bring this up. It's completely off topic. I recently just saw... have you guys seen The Lady Killers?
No.
It's got Tom Hanks.
I saw The Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield.
That movie is fun. I like that movie. Dude.
I saw Lady and the Tramp.
All I know is I got a lot of balls. That movie was funny. That guy killed himself, dude.
Rodney Dangerfield didn't?
No, the kid.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the boy. I forget his name.
Turned south really quick.
Well, no, we started south. We're talking about dead cats, remember?
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
right. This is a morbid show this week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tach's bringing us down.
Anyway, I forget the kid's name, but the kid in the movie, like, he killed himself. Like, probably less than 10 years after Ladybugs, yeah.
Oh, well, less than 10 years. That's a long time. So it wasn't Ladybugs that made him kill himself then, is that what you're saying?
No, it wasn't.
I did this horrible role with Rodney Dangerfield. I hate, that was insensitive and all, but no, sorry.
Speaking of like dark stuff like this, did you see that video that Macaulay Culkin did making fun of Home Alone?
Yeah, that was really
fun. That was awesome.
It was hilarious. I loved it.
And it's extremely dark, but it's basically like what would really happen to Kevin if he really had been left alone. And he's like an adult and he's like on drugs and he's an alcoholic.
And he's an Uber driver.
Yeah, he freaking hates his mom.
And this guy gets in and he's just like ranting about like, and smoking a cigarette and just look like drugged out. He's got his hair all long. And then the guy's like, do you want me to drive? He's like, yeah. You fucking drive or whatever. And he's just like ranting like, how would you feel if you were left home alone?
He's like, he's calling me weird names from like the fucking 1920s and stuff.
Nice.
It was really funny. I was quite impressed with it.
But when you get your MMA podcast going, just let us know because we will.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Number one, we'll listen, subscribe, download, rate, review the whole 9 yards. But we'll also promote it, whenever we can.
It's cool.
Living Podcariously.
You're an MMA fan yourself.
Oh yeah,
so that works.
I know nothing, zero about this market. I just know, the highly publicized events and fights and stuff like that. I don't know anything about this market.
Well, if me coming from somebody who doesn't know really anything about MMA, he seems to me like another John. Like, I don't really know much about it, but let's talk for 45 minutes just on this topic.
Tach, you want to know what the difference between me and John is? I make it to places that I say I'm going to go.
Oh,
John, that was for you, buddy. That was just for you, John. Hey, speaking of Tain't Funny, and I appreciate you guys having me on the show. Mm-hmm. This is for both of you, not just
this
Jimmy.
This is your show. This isn't
no. On your show when I came to visit Tain't Funny, episode 43, 44. I don't remember the numbers.
Sings when he's trying to think. That's funny.
I wanted to get you guys something as a token of my appreciation, and it's very, very topical. And this is for all four of you guys, not just
like
for
an ointment.
I was gonna say, so it's Benadryl.
Yeah, exactly. Neosporin. No, I wanted to get you guys something. Now, this is This is a gift for all 4 of you. There's 4 of these. Okay. And then I was going to try to give it to John too tonight, but because John was supposed to be here, but you guys will have to decide what Eric and John get, and you guys have your first pick of the litter. But we were talking about it quite a bit on your show. I've got them hidden over here. We were talking about on your show about some of the media that you guys do. Stuck. Fuck technical difficulties.
That's right. Fuck technical difficulty. Oh, I thought you were going gangster on me.
Fuck the police. All right, so Taint Funny does reviews on everything media, but you guys also focus on some very specific things on your show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you guys get involved in conversations about very heated topics sometimes. Now, heated being several things to include movies, but also comic books. Mm-hmm. And you asked me a couple questions on Taint Funny about some of the comic books that were of my era.
That's true.
So what I'm giving you guys is 4 comic books from when I was, I don't know, 14, 13, somewhere in that range.
So these could be worth like millions of dollars?
These are all 4. I think all 4 of them are in, they've got the cardboard backing as well. But they're all 4 comic books that really influenced me back in the day.
Right on.
And I wanted you at least to give you guys the opportunity to get which ones you wanted. So we'll start off with Spawn number 1.
Nice.
So there's the first one. All of these should be in mint or near mint condition.
Right on.
This is from your own personal collection?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you sure you're willing to part with these?
Listen, the only reason I have them is for collecting them. I don't have them for reselling them.
I gotcha, but by giving them to us, you're not collecting anymore.
No, that's
these particular ones.
I'd rather give them to somebody that's a fan of comic books.
Mm-hmm. No, that's this looks like it's brand new.
It does, yeah.
When did this come out?
These are really old because he said them when he was younger. No, I was kidding.
I'm not that old. I'm younger than you guys.
This is true. You said these are like 12, 13 when you were 12,
when
13?
I was 12 or 13. Yeah.
This looks like this was printed last week.
It makes them like 50 years old.
To go along in the theme of the Marvel Universe, Gambit number 1.
Right on.
That's for John right there.
Is that the one he likes?
Well, I don't know. John likes Marvel. So
this one comes with a collector's card that actually didn't come with the comic book when I bought it. However, I found the card individually and got it with it as well. And this is a special edition number 0. That's Magneto number 0. So there's that one.
That's cool. I think I have that same card.
And then maybe
Jimmy found the one he wants.
And then to me, maybe at the time that I bought this, I had no idea the influence, especially in today's market with the latest movie that just came out that is getting the biggest stir, which is what the hell's the movie with the rated R?
Deadpool.
Deadpool,
yeah.
God.
So Deadpool 2 is already rumored to come out, and you know who they're bringing in Deadpool 2.
Huh.
In the next Deadpool iteration that they're bringing out, they're bringing in Cable.
Nice.
So there's Cable number 1 as well.
Right on.
So you guys take your pick and then pick which one John gets and which one Eric gets.
I appreciate the backstories on them because that's
cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would just be looking at this going, cool, Cable Guy. Yeah.
Cable Guy.
My favorite one is Cable Guy.
He doesn't look anything like Jim Carrey. Why in this?
Yeah, Deadpool. The Cable one I'm going to save for the last because
wait, this is part 1 of 2. Where's part 2?
I probably have it. Does it really say part 1 of 2?
Yes, but
does it really?
I'm just kidding.
I have it in there. I guarantee you.
Part 1 and 2, but
does it say number 1 or just? Let me see it. Oh, part 1 of 2. Yeah, I'll go get the other one.
No. I'm just kidding. We're kidding.
Dude, I seriously have hundreds and hundreds of comic books.
Who's this guy back here?
I don't know. I can't see this
He
far.
looks familiar, doesn't he?
He's a black guy.
I don't know.
We're big
Why
on.
can't you say the guy in the yellow bandana?
You're big on black guys? What did you say, Tach?
Well, we've had a discussion about like black superheroes. Actually, isn't not
Mr. Fantastic?
not the Punisher, but
Mr. Fantastic.
Spawn. Isn't he a black guy?
I don't know. I don't know enough about that series to know.
Okay, because I was working with a buddy today who's a huge Spawn fan, and I think he said something today like, and that proves I'm not racist because I'm a huge fan of Spawn and he's black. So
that proves I'm not racist because I'm a fan of my own
it had
race.
something to do. No,
Wait.
he's
a white guy, and
he's a white guy. Yeah. So
that proves I'm not because I'm a fan of a fictional character in a drawing.
I don't remember why he mentioned that, but you know. Well, this is cool, man. Well, I appreciate this.
Certainly.
I'm excited about it. I'm not even huge on comic books, so
there's only one comic book that I'm avidly reading, and that's Back to the Future comic books.
I've been collecting the new Marvel Star Wars. Is what I've been collecting too.
Well, cool.
But definitely it's an interest that we kind of have. We're interested in being interested in it. So this is really cool, and the guys will really like it too.
There is an important thing behind those two. Those aren't comic books to buy for collecting. When I bought comic books, I bought them to read them.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So those are all read comic books by me as an adolescent at the time.
The one has blue on it. No,
that was me.
They're not going to be common, these pages, is there?
No, those are some other ones.
Cable Guy.
I also did find, you asked me on your show, that what was my favorite comic book character. I found Magneto one. Magneto one. Metamorpho one, which was the comic series. I think is canceled 6 months after it came out, but it was still my favorite character of all of them. And I found it. I'm like, Jimmy might like see that. That one I won't part with. If
you're a fan of Back to the Future at all, I suggest the comic books because they go into questions that everybody's always wondered. And the fact that Bob Gale is involved with the comic book writing. I was talking to the guy at Vera Comics, Peter, and he was telling me that it was supposed to only be a run of 6 comics, but because there's been so much attention to it, they had to rewrite the 6th comic book that came out. That's why it's been late. Because they're going to extend it and it's going to be indefinite now. But it was originally only going to be a 6 comic series because they just wanted to answer questions for people because of the whole 30th anniversary thing and everything. Yeah.
One thing I learned about comics books or collecting lately is because I'm trying to collect the Marvel Star Wars, and those have only been out probably less than a year. Okay. What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just looking at the time.
Okay. They've been out less than a year. And, so right now I have number 1 and 4, 5, and 6 or something like that. So I was I still got to get 2 and 3, and then other ones came out, but whatever, I'll get to it. Well, apparently it's get it when it comes out, or it's going to be hard to find.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, so I'm figuring you go to any comic book store, hey, I need number 2, 3, 8, and and they'll be like, they're right over here, but it's not like that. I went to 2 comic book stores, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for these ones. And I'm like, oh, we don't have it. I might be able to order it for you. Are you kidding me? Really? I didn't know it was like that. It's fucked up.
So some stores have more than others, but yeah, when I was collecting, of course, this is back in the day. I haven't collected comic books forever, but when I was collecting, if you found something you were looking for, it was literally like the typical need it, got it, need it, got it, whatever. You're going through looking for something that you might need or want to purchase.
It's kind of like if you go into some of the comic book stores now, some of the ones I've been in have boxes upon boxes, rooms of boxes of all old comic books that you can look through, just like you're talking about. So.
And some of the equivalent to this is more of an old man thing that me and Jimmy just started doing, which is collecting vinyl. Yeah, and we love going to old record stores and just going through
dumpster
diving, or
he calls it crate digging.
It's called crate digging, but
I call it dumpster diving.
Dumpster diving is what he calls it. I don't know if that's an homage to my mom or something.
Well, we're not looking for Spice Rex this time. We're looking for
inside joke, but so that's kind of equivalency to the older man kind of comic collecting.
But he's more of a collector. I like strictly for listening. So if I have 2 or if I have 2 vinyls, let's say I'm looking for AC/DC's Back in Black album, right? And I see 2 of them. One is, both equal condition. One is $150 because it's rare and it's autographed by AC/DC, and one of them's $15. I'm probably going to pick the $15 one because all I'm going to do is listen to it. I really don't care about collecting it.
Yeah.
So he is the type that he would want to get the $150 one because it's all about collecting and all that. So we're completely opposite.
But if I had the $150, chances are I probably would buy both.
Right.
And play the $15 one. And then
Tach, let's be honest. If you had $150, you would buy bread right now and water. And
pretty much, yeah.
Pay some bills.
I'd want to eat, and I got some bills too. But yeah. So, and we're actually supposed to be going to the record store tomorrow and kind of look around.
Sweet.
I really don't have any money, but I might be able to scrape $10.
I just ordered the 4-disc set of the show Hamilton on vinyl.
Sweet.
I had the special order and all that.
You did say AC/DC a minute ago. Have you heard the country cover band for AC/DC?
I have.
Hayseed Dixie. Yeah. God, that's awesome. The play on words there. Hayseed Dixie.
And they do that version of, I want to say Back in Black or Dirty Deeds, I think is what they did. And I can't stand country music, but I got to admit, it actually sounds
entertaining,
pretty good.
It is,
yeah.
It's more of a bluegrass though, right?
I don't think it's as much bluegrass as the genre of bluegrass would identify.
Bluegrass to me, I think of as the speed metal of country. That's just how I.
Oh, some of it.
Like,
You know who's really into bluegrass, and it's surprising?
Yeah.
Steve Martin.
Oh yeah, no, he's a
Him and
player.
what's the name? There's a female singer that the two of them have come out with like 2 albums already.
Speaking of that,
What the hell's her name?
speaking of albums and bluegrass and all that shit, I think it's bluegrass. Did you know that Metallica released an album like a couple years ago?
No,
Yeah,
I don't think I knew that.
yeah, no, they like just slid it under the rug, but it's not good. They teamed up with like some old bluegrass or country singer.
You hear who AC/DC's new lead singer is?
Is this an April Fool's thing?
No,
What do you mean? What happened to Brian Johnson?
he has hearing problems.
Who?
Fucking Axl Rose
I was gonna say that.
Axl
too.
Rose is getting ready to tour.
with AC/DC.
No, there's Guns N' Roses
AC/DC
tour.
was supposed to
Guns N' Roses tour is kicking off here this summer.
AC/DC was supposed to open for Guns N' Roses.
He plays both leads.
Yeah, and halfway through the tour, halfway through AC/DC's tour, Brian Johnson, I guess his hearing problems got so bad that Axl Rose is now the
I
lead
can
singer for the
see
rest
that
of the tour.
their voices are similar.
He said what they're going to do. They're going to do a lot of mixed stuff. Like, they're going to have nights where Poison sings, or not Poison. Guns N' Roses sings some of AC/DC songs. And then AC/DC plays and sings some of Guns N' Roses songs.
We should, in honor of that, we should do our intros and outros for our breaks in bluegrass and AC/DC music this time.
Is that why you have scarves hanging from your microphone?
Yeah.
Steven Tyler.
I got it. I see what you did there. I actually looked for listeners.
And
All right.
Tach keeps rocking back and forth when he's talking to his microphone.
Even though it was April Fool's just yesterday, those aren't April Fool's. But when we get back, we're going to go over some of the best and worst April Fool's jokes that have been pulled, plus one tack that you and Jimmy will want to have actually been a truth and not an April Fool's. And I guarantee it, you'll want this to have happened. And it's something that affects Central Florida.
Interesting.
All right.
Him going down on us.
We're going to... I want to give both of you mouth hugs. All right. We'll be right back after this. Check out our new sponsor, Last Drop Vape. They make a premium e-liquid line that is simply fantastic. I vape a lot and use Last Drop Vape's blueberry and strawberry cream. They also have a chocolate that is spot on.
All of Last Drop Vape's premium e-liquids are proudly made in the USA. Their e-juice is bottled in a clean, certified, laboratory using 100% FDA-compliant machinery, meeting AEMSA standards and future FDA regulations.
Visit them at lastdropvape.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/lastdropvape.
If you are interested in becoming a distributor, you can contact them at their website under the wholesaler section.
All right, welcome back to Living Podcariously, episode number 9, with special guest Jimmy Klein. Hey, that rhymes. And that rhyme.
Hey, you're a poet and weren't even aware.
Number 9 rhymes, Klein. Yeah. All right. So so it's April 2nd. Technically, I guess it's almost April 3rd now because it's kind of late when we're recording this on a Saturday, which is unheard of for us. We don't usually record on Saturdays, but we are this week.
We had to do that so we can get Jimmy Klein by our side. I don't know.
What?
I can't rhyme.
What happened?
What just happened there?
What did you just have a little mini stroke over there?
I can't rap. I can't flow.
All right. Go ahead. Do it. Freestyle. Me and Jimmy will be quiet.
Okay. Well, give me a beat. Drop that beat.
Get your 10000. All right. Yesterday was April 1st. Yesterday was April Fool's Day.
Indeed.
Did you guys have any fun April Fool's pranks pulled on you? Any hijinks?
There wasn't anything. Nothing. It was a very dead. Like people at work, nobody even once ever said April Fool.
Actually, I take that back. I woke up to my son telling me the dog had puppies. And then he promptly said, April Fools.
Serious?
And was the dog even pregnant?
No.
Oh, that's right. You just got a new dog. It's a male.
2 girls.
Yeah.
2 girl dogs.
But then again, it happened in Jurassic Park.
Nature finds a way.
Just
that's
saying.
true.
Remember, that was a line. All right. So what I did in honor of that, I found several April Fool's pranks of 2016. Some that were good and some that were bad. Just a couple. This is a short list, so we'll go through them quick. And one that I know the two of you will wish actually was not an April Fool's joke. You will wish that this is a real deal. I kind of do too. I'll save that one for last.
Okay.
So let's start off with Google. Google's Gmail. Did you hear about this one?
No.
If you hear about any of these, just stop me. So Google Gmail did a April Fool's joke, and Google is notorious for doing themed, items for the time of the year. So last year or 2 years ago, April Fool, I think they came out with a Pac-Man, Google Pac-Man. And that became so popular that they kept running with it. And it's now something you can go to Google Games and play anytime you want to play Pac-Man, Google style. Well, this year, Google did the Google Mic Drop feature added to Gmail. You guys both have Gmail accounts, I assume?
Yeah.
All right. So you in Google on yesterday, and if you happen to see this option, you could, right beside the send button, right beside it was a mic drop button. And what this did is when you sent a message to your recipient, titled it, and then put your message in there, you, instead of clicking send, you click mic drop. It does not ever allow a reply to come back to the message.
That's awesome.
So it's literally dropping the mic and no response ever. It's you walked off stage at that point.
Pretty
That's
funny.
badass.
So you can send any message you want to
That's
anybody.
what I love about Google is like they won't tell you. They just set it
Let
there
it simmer.
subtly and then
Just let it simmer.
yeah.
Well, this one backfired on Google.
Oh, jeez.
Google. Well, so it seems people do real business on Google, on Gmail.
Where I work, we do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, people do real business on that. And people are sending customers and clients and, supervisors and whatever real emails through Google. And they click the mic drop button and we're
Wonder
getting...
why they're not.
Nobody could get responses. Oh, but it also included, I completely forgot this. It also included an animated GIF of a minion dropping a mic
That's badass.
in every message that you send.
Well, it's like, have you ever used Google Hangouts?
Yeah.
If you type yay or pony parade or anything like,
I'm always typing that.
it'll have like cartoon like My Little Ponies run across the screen really quick. Or if you type in yay, this little guy will jump above and go yay like that and go back down again. And this is stuff that we use at work for business.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
Those are like Easter eggs built into software programs back in the day. Do you remember those, Tach? I know you probably know this from what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Like Excel. Old school 1997 Excel or Excel 97 and Office 97. If you went to a certain field, a certain row, certain column, and typed a very specific command or just a text into this field and hit enter, it opened up a fucking game of, what was that old racing shooting game?
Spy Hunter?
Spy Hunter. It opened up a game of Spy Hunter. And what you were doing is you were playing Spy Hunter through the credits of the developers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool? They had Pac-Man.
I love Spy Hunter. That game is so bad. You drop oil slicks and shit behind you.
Oh yeah.
There are still Easter eggs in code now. You can find them. They're more difficult to find now, but you can still find them. You can go Google Easter eggs in current software, and you can find stuff.
You can find them in circuit boards too.
Easter eggs built into circuit boards?
Yeah,
Really?
circuit boards and processors, especially processors. If you open up processors and look at the circuits, a lot of times the person that develops the circuit will like draw little pictures or something like that.
Is that you,
No
Jimmy?
shit.
No.
Did you ever draw a penis in one?
I just touch it with my penis. I don't really draw a picture of it.
But you could though with what you do, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I could put parts on the boards in the shape of a penis.
But I mean,
I program the machines.
Yeah,
the
that's
machines
what I'm
run,
saying.
So yeah, I
Like,
could.
so-
Yeah.
The next one, the BBC,
yeah.
came out with an April Fool's joke yesterday as well. They have developed and released for mass consumption a new form of magnetic memory. This magnetic memory can hold things such as video and audio, and they're naming it VHS.
I was like, whoa, what technology?
Yep, they had this big announcement of this new technology coming out for magnetic memory, and turns out to be just VHS because VHS works off magnetic
Right.
things.
That's awesome.
U.S. Army announced one yesterday. U.S. Army had a big announcement. Hard times lie ahead for U.S. enemies, and the U.S. Army has announced groundbreaking technology to teleport troops anywhere in the world in under a few seconds. So they have teleporters now. This is official U.S. Army website.
That just screams practical joke.
Well, of course, announcing teleportation. Yes.
Yeah.
BMW came out with a brand new line for children,
Okay.
but not what you think. Fall-proof kids' shoes by BMW. They were BMW shoes with BMW
Are they
logos.
like big old circles.
That's like the airbags for motorcycles. I thought it was a joke at first when I first heard about them. And I'm like, an airbag but it's like this helmet thing you wear around your neck, and if it detects you falling, it like inflates so that you don't damage your neck, right? But it's like this thing that inflates around your chest and your neck, so that if you fall off your motorcycle, you don't get injured.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And it also can save you like $120 from cracking your helmet.
That's true. Yeah,
Jesus.
because I had to buy a new one.
Yeah, this says your toddler keeps falling over, then you need revolutionary BMW baby shoes, which offer total stability in all conditions. Go
Oh,
figure.
so these were all-terrain shoes.
Yeah, but do they have launch mode where you can like put it in a special mode so if the kid wants to take off really fast?
Put your kid into launch. Put your kid into launch control. That's awesome. All right.
Hold traction control down for 3 seconds. All right, good.
And the last one that I promised you guys that you wish was true.
A dick pic. Oh,
Something.
My dick is not this big.
I mean, I have it on here if you're welcome to see it. This is something to do with Epcot.
Okay.
What is the most prominent figure or fixture at Epcot?
The golf ball.
Right, the big golf ball. What is the
actually,
golf
it's
ball?
a geodesic sphere. But sorry, go ahead.
Right. But that is
good.
what Spaceship Earth, or it used to be. I think it changed it. I thought.
Spaceship Earth still. That's right.
Okay.
And that is a quintessential monument in Central Florida. Everyone around the world knows that, and Central Floridians are very attached to that. Well, Disney announced yesterday, technically Epcot, announced yesterday that they're replacing the Epcot golf ball, with a complete replica of the Death Star.
That's
I
awesome.
wish that would
Wouldn't that be
badass.
fucking
I could
cool?
totally see them doing that because they have the rights to do it now.
That would be awesome.
Exactly. It was that was a perfect April Fool's because they had all the backing. You've got the fucking franchise. You've got the development already underway for all of the different lands of Star Wars at Disney World.
Yeah.
What a better place to do it than Epcot.
That's an example of one that backfired. Everybody's like, yes, that's awesome. And they're like, well, we were kidding. We
Actually,
thought you'd be mad.
they did just the opposite. Disney and Epcot received thousands and thousands of complaints because of how big of an attachment that this area has
Really?
on
I'm
the
surprised.
Spaceship Earth. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, people were losing their shit on Facebook and all these.
Why?
Well,
The fucking Spaceship Earth's been around since like the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, even the ride itself is like, in one day we'll have video and chats.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Actually, it's a lot
Yeah.
different now. If you
Yeah,
go
they-
into it
Is
recently,
it?
it's way
Okay.
different. Yeah.
yeah, they revamped it now.
They make this little cartoon thing where it's like a picture. You like it takes a picture of your face, like while you're on the ride, and you insert your face into it like a cartoon that it creates. And you do all this while you're climbing up to the top to start the ride.
yeah.
And when it's done, it does all the video for you, and you can email it to yourself. It's pretty neat, and it shows you like riding in a car and all that kind of stuff.
For a small
Is that an
fee
April
of,
Fool's joke? Or?
No, it's for real. Yeah.
for a small fee of $19.99.95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get your name on a keychain. No, I was kidding. That part's for real.
That's cool. I do have I don't know, it's not necessarily an April Fool's story, but it's a prank story.
Your cat's really not dying.
No.
Sorry.
I wish that wasn't.
See what I did there?
but-
Brought us back down.
Yeah,
For you.
brought us back down. Yeah, I was almost excited there for a moment. No, maybe I shouldn't talk about this.
Come on. Did a girl tell you she was pregnant?
No.
Is this a prank that you've played on one of us?
No.
Is that a prank that somebody would get mad if they heard you talking?
No, not at all.
Ah, well, what do you care?
Yeah. So what's the big
Well,
deal?
okay.
Are you afraid
Is
people
it-
are going to look negatively on
No,
you
no,
because
no.
of your prank?
Is
no,
Is
no.
it stupid?
I punched a retard in the face.
No.
It said April Fool's.
It's not stupid. It's not bad. It's not going to make anybody look bad.
Like, can you believe they call me insensitive because I punched a retard in the face?
he totally drank out of my drink.
All right.
It's like, Adam,
We're fucking with Tach.
you're supposed to say I punched a mentally handicapped person in the face.
Well, one of our top 10 lists actually identified that the term retarded comes from the scientific definition of IQ below 89, I think, or 79.
Actually, there's very
thought it was
specific
dull.
words for your IQ for different levels of IQ.
One of the top, one of the
talked
top
about
10
it.
lists
Oh,
that I
did
did.
you?
I did top 10 things you did. In one of the episodes of the top 10 list was, of the Twisted 10 was, IQ tests and myths or something that you didn't know about. I liked it, but it was our lowest downloaded show. So maybe it wasn't, maybe it wasn't very good.
Maybe people felt threatened. They're like, I got to turn this off.
All right. What were we going to say, Tach?
All right.
Tell us your
Fuck it,
embarrassing
I'll just-
moment.
Yeah, tell us
No,
your dumb
it
story.
wasn't an embarrassing moment.
Then I don't understand why he's hesitant.
I don't either.
Well, I'll explain.
Is this the
I
time
don't-
you got your penis stuck in a Coke bottle? Oh, wait, that was me.
that didn't-
Tach, those are pretty nice pants, by the way. Do they sell them in men's sizes? Come on, little girl.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. God, this is such a battle in my head, and because he knows about this, and the reason, and the fact that he hasn't questioned about it yet, makes me not want to tell him more.
But I have not.
I won't say anything.
Yeah.
Look, this is only going out to how many people download this.
No. It's him that I don't want to hear.
Oh.
It's just him.
You fucked his girlfriend in high school.
I fucked his girlfriend in high school. No.
I have or have not mentioned it. You mean
Just now.
tonight? I haven't mentioned
Tonight you haven't mentioned it.
I'm lost now. I don't know what you're talking
See,
about.
that makes me not want to tell
Now
it
you gotta
now.
get it out. Just go.
Is it one of those things where if I say it, I'm gonna be like, oh, that.
Well, yeah, you'll get it. You know, as soon as I start talking about it, you'll be like, oh, yeah. And then the fact that you say, I forgot about that is going to make me go, damn it, I shouldn't have said it.
This buildup is making it so anticlimactic when you say it.
Did you play the joke on somebody or somebody else play the joke on you?
No, I never got to play the joke, but I had it planned. But
Is this the time where you're trying to scare somebody in the last story, in a store you worked in, you were giggling like a little girl?
No, but that was funny. We used to do it all the time. But no. It's a prank that I planned that was going to be elaborate and amazing. And then I didn't get a chance to do it. It got canceled. And so I told the person about it, and they said, that's fucking awesome. I really wish you could have done that because that would have scared the shit out of me. And then, so I said, okay. And then never brought it up again. Because I was like, let me bide my time, and maybe I can plan something else later down the road. And apparently, he has forgotten about it, and it would be perfect timing now.
So now you're not going to tell us after all that? You just have to pick a new target. You can't use Jimmy anymore, that's all.
Okay, now you know it's about Jimmy. Fuck.
So it was a joke you were going to play, a prank you were going to play on me?
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, okay. This is back when I lived in Jacksonville. Okay, here was the. I already told him all about it, what my plan was. But this was like 10 years ago. And so I figured I was by my time, may let him forget about the whole thing, and then I can plan something else, and he won't be suspicious. So what my plan was, 10 years ago, I lived in Jacksonville, and so I had a buddy of mine was going to help me with this prank, and I had it all planned out. I even talked to Jimmy's wife about it to kind of warn her, and then, you know, she kind of put her 2 cents in here and there. She's like, that's amazing, because Jimmy was going to come and visit for a weekend, just him. I think it was just you. And this is before he had kids and all that. So, and so I knew he was going to be coming, like in a month or so. So I lived in this house, and behind the house we had woods. And so I had this big backyard, and behind that was woods. And so I decided to start implanting an idea in his head early. So I was like, Jimmy, like talking to him on the phone, I was like, I heard like this noise rustling around in like the woods behind my house the other night. And he was like, well, it's probably just like a boar or something. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And that was it, and let it go. And like a week or so later, I would say, I heard that same fucking noise again, dude. But this time it had like grunts behind it. And he's like, well, it's probably, you know, once again, I was like, I don't know. That's what, when you said it the first time, I thought that's what it was, but I don't think so. I thought I saw something moving, you know. I was just kind of adding a little bit more. And then he said, it's probably this. And I said, you're probably right. It's nothing. I'm not even going to worry about it anymore. And then I became one of those implanted in the back of his head. And so what I was planning was, this whole thing planned out. By the way, this is before Jimmy became a concealed carrier. So it was safe back then.
Yeah.
And so I had a buddy of mine who was going to dress up in some sort of like monstery. And my buddy he's a big dude, you know. And
You're talking about John?
yeah. And,
John.
Not that John, another John.
Talking about Bumpy.
He was gonna come over and get in the woods in like this monstery fucking costume. Right? And then the way I was gonna have it planned out was I was gonna be like, you know, like, I think I see something or I hear something, and he was gonna make those kind of noises back there. But it was gonna be late at night and dark back there because it was pitch black back there. And so I'd grab a flashlight. I'm like, Jimmy, let's go check this out. I was like, I want to show you that I'm hearing stuff back there. And so we were going to walk all the way to the end of my yard, which had a fence. And then the woods were right there. And so I was going to like search around. He was going to like wrestle some bushes or whatever. And then I was going to, and I would act like the flashlight is like, you have to keep hitting it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. It's working now. And then I had practiced it with a flashlight. I had it all down. I knew how to make it go dim and have fucking, you know. So I was like prepared. So what the plan was to go down there and then like hear noises and then all of a sudden look and flash the light at him, like the monster thing, and have the light immediately go out within seconds of, you you get a flash like second just seeing this thing. It's where you can't really like, what the fuck was that? You know, and then it would be like some sort of an attack or something from there. Like he would come over the fence or, you know, something.
Be a dead fucking monster right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Now I don't know what Jimmy would do if he pulled out a pistol and shoot it. I don't know, but it, like I told, and then the reason why it got canceled is because the day before, my buddy who was going to help out, his grandfather just passed away the day before.
Man,
so,
another death in this show.
Sorry. So when Jimmy finally came to visit, I told him his whole plan, and he was like, and I really didn't want to because I wanted to plan it for another day. And then he was just like, "That's awesome, dude. That would have been so badass." Yeah. And I was like, and I never mentioned it again until now because I wanted him to forget about that story so I can plan something later. And I've talked to like totally Megan. I talked to Megan about this a few years ago. Like, can we do something in your yard, maybe? Do something in your house, and I can come over. Jimmy won't suspect me in your yard. Yeah. At late at night one night, and she was just like, hey, we can do
the only problem like with doing something like that to me is I have a very low like I hardly
bullshit meter.
When I have very small reflexes.
Yeah, this is why I always wanted to get him because
so I'm really really hard to scare. Like I remember going to the doctor as a kid and him having to do that thing on the knee, and I don't have any reflexes, and so there's so many times where people at work will try to scare me, and it just.
Do you still have the adrenaline rush though from the same types of scare tactics? No, so the jump scares or
it would be like me coming up to you and yelling in your face. And then wondering why you don't jump. You know what I mean? It's almost just like, the fuck are you yelling? You know what I mean? Like,
I really don't have too many jump things either. So it's hard to get me to jump too.
So your anxiety builds on other things though. Mm-hmm. So people that don't have any anxiety build or any adrenaline dump to their body, are actually at a very, very high health risk because their body doesn't know to kick in adrenaline to help get the blood flowing in certain internal problems.
Well, I do.
Just reading about this.
I have to take stuff for like anti-anxiety because I get anxiety about everything.
All right. Well,
but it's almost impossible to scare me.
Well, that means your system is producing, your pituitary gland is working correctly. Because if you have anxiety, yes, I know anxiety is horrible. I've taken stuff for it in the past too. But if your pituitary gland is producing correctly, then your body will react in the case of maybe a heart condition or some kind of fatigue or mental issue or something. Your body will kick in the necessary safety precautions to help you. People that have zero fear of public speaking or of anything and don't ever get scared.
There's people that fear public speaking more than they fear dying.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the most feared things.
Yep. Those people are actually at a very high health risk.
That makes sense.
Because their body doesn't know how to react to dangerous situations. They don't have that fight or flight response. Their body is just indifferent to a situation.
Yeah. Well, we've had a fight or flight response on one of our first roller coasters.
You're going to fight on a roller coaster?
Are you talking about Aerosmith?
I don't remember which one. No, it's when we went on the Hulk for the first time. Oh. And then we were like, you're like, I can't get this down anymore. You're like, I want to get one more click out of this. And, and then we started going and we were both like, I don't know. Like,
both of us had that moment.
Just as it starts to go, Jimmy's like, I want to get out of here. And like, yeah, but it turns out it's fucking great roller coaster.
It was amazing. Yeah.
I fucking loved it. We went on it about right again immediately after.
I have a horrible fear of heights. Awful fear of heights.
Really?
So I ride roller coasters to try to get over my fear of heights. So I've been on almost all the roller coasters in Central Florida, and I like the roller coasters, but hands down the scariest ride I've ever been on is that tower at SeaWorld, the one that just goes up really slowly and turns around.
Really?
I can't handle that, dude.
No shit.
God, that scares the shit out of me.
What about the one in Busch Gardens? I don't remember the name of it.
Shikra?
I don't remember. Shikra, where it hangs you off the edge.
Yeah, I've been on that one too. Yeah.
Really? That's my favorite.
To me, the tower at SeaWorld is way scarier than Shikra.
Really?
Because it just sits there.
Oh, you would hate SeaWorld's new one then. They've got one that lays you face down. Something has to do with an eagle.
That's one of the few I haven't been on yet. It's called Manta. I haven't been on that one.
No, Manta's the one in Busch Gardens. This one is at SeaWorld.
Yeah, that's Manta. It's because it's a manta ray. Yeah.
That makes sense.
The cars are shaped like a manta ray.
No, these aren't cars. This is a straight thing that takes you up and straight back down.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, and you're laying face down. You're facing the ground.
You're at Busch Gardens, you mean?
Maybe it is.
Yeah, that's at Busch Gardens. That's it's named after a bird. What's the name of that?
Is it a duck?
No, it's some kind of bird that dives down when it.
Oh, it starts with an F.
What's the Busch Gardens?
Yeah.
I really thought it was SeaWorld. You might be right there.
Falcon's Fury or something.
Actually, that's exactly it.
Is it Falcon's Fury?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Tradition.
Busch Gardens, Tampa.
Falcon's Fury?
Yeah, it's a freestanding sky jump drop tower attraction at Busch Gardens, Tampa. That's crazy.
And you hear about the one
335 feet high?
You want to do that one with me?
I'll do it.
Let's go.
Do you hear about the one that's going to be on iDrive? The roller coaster? It's going to be, I want to say, either 400 or 500 feet high. I can't remember which one.
Whoa.
But it's going to have a drop ride in the middle of it.
Really?
Yeah, and the drop ride, I think, is going to be one of the tallest in the world. It's 400-something feet high.
Holy shit.
And
Fuck you.
You're not interested, Tach?
I have a fear of heights also, which I just discovered a few years
the
ago.
only difference is he's a pussy about it. I'm not.
Yeah. Like, me and Jimmy started off having fear of roller coasters because we really didn't have any experience growing up being on roller coasters.
We were scared of the Scrambler.
No, not the Scrambler. I love the Scrambler always as a kid. But like, and so in our adulthood, we decided, well, let's try some roller coasters. Never done it before, you know? So we went on a couple like at Disney and stuff like that. And then we did, the Hulk was our biggest, you know, Everest, if you will. And we loved it. And then so we did Aerosmith, all that stuff, you know, which Aerosmith I like. I just don't like the launch in the beginning. That scares the shit out of me. Fight or Flight kicks in hardcore on that launch.
I'm just laughing because like he got me to ride it and then
right.
I'll never go on it again.
Right. I went on Aerosmith like 3 times and I haven't gone on it since. Like I like it, but I don't, you know, and so like now he became obsessed with roller coasters. Jimmy's become obsessed with roller coasters and I'm still kind of scared to go on certain ones.
Like I want to ride King Dakar. Have you seen King Dakar? Or
no.
Top Fuel Dragster?
No.
They're up in, I want to say Ohio. And it's, I think, 420 something feet high. And you launch 0 to 120 miles an hour in about 3 or 4 seconds.
Damn.
And you go straight up over this hump. That's
like 2.5 Gs. That's
it's
quick.
Insane, yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, we have gotten off topic, but that was the prank I had planned on Jimmy years ago.
That'd have been good.
Ago.
Yeah.
Would have been good, but now I can't do it, or I got to wait another 10 years to try something. So Jimmy, forget what I said.
I've got a horrible memory, so chances are you probably do it next week.
Cumulatively, we'll have to get together and pull a prank on our boy Ron as a group. Maybe we can come up with something elaborate for next year. Ron, if you're listening, pay no attention to these words. These are not the droids you're looking for. All right, well, let's take
the droids you're looking for.
Let's take another break, and we'll come back. And since Jimmy was the initiator of the idea of the segment name for our Guy-a-ry, maybe he can settle the debate that you and I have been having. Now, it's a kind of a small debate, but
we'll talk about that when we get back.
I spelled Guy-a-ry G-U-Y.
Oh, yeah.
G-U-Y-A-R-Y. He spells it G-U-Y-I-A-R-Y. So maybe when we get back, settle that for us. I'll update our show notes, and then we got 4 questions submitted for a Guy-a-ry this week. So, all right. Thanks for listening. We will be right back.
Introducing
Rave in a Box,
your single online stop for all of your rave and festival goodies. Rave in a Box sells and ships all of your rave and glow toys, along with flow arts, gloves, diffraction glasses, and more. Their simple to use shopping cart and standard 2-day shipping will have your products in your hands just in time for your next performance. Visit them at raveinabox.com, also Facebook and Instagram by searching
Rave in a Box.
All right, welcome back to Living Podcariously, episode number 9. So we left the break just a minute ago with a question. Our listeners know that we had listener feedback for the name of the segment where women ask us questions and we answer them honestly. But the actual name came from our boy Jimmy up at Taint Funny.
Indeed.
So Tach and I have had an ongoing debate on how to title that properly. So I think you are the holy grail of no matter what either one of us decide, you're going to name it or letter it or whatever appropriately. So the segment that you came up with is called the Guy-a-ry, but how do we actually spell it for our show notes and for our content.
Interesting. How did you spell it again?
I spelled it GUY
right.
-A -RY. Guy-a-ry.
And I spelled it GUY -IARY.
His is, to me, his is
Guy-a-ry.
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 Guy-a-ry. Which that's kind of cool sounding too. Guy-a-ry.
Well, his is Guy-a-ry. I'm trying to make it sound bad too.
Yours is kind of Guy-a-ry.
I think
things I
Well, see that it's yours is I think phonetically correct.
Yeah.
But his explains the name better. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look at the way it's spelled with your way and tell that it's Guy and Diary. But his phonetically sounds better.
That's kind of where I was at too.
You gave us both compliments there. So what's your decision?
I should be in politics.
Go Trump.
I don't know.
You're not going to hurt my feelings if you pick his.
I think okay. No. Yeah, I would have to say yours because it sounds phonetically better.
Your face, motherfucker! No, I'm just kidding. All right.
That's cool. That's fine. I'm totally cool with that.
Well, I do all the show notes anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter what he said. I was going to do it anyway.
The only time I write it is for my own notes for the show. So.
Well, I think also when I originally wrote it to you, I wrote it like that too.
My way?
I think so.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
Man. But I wrote it that way to explain how I got the name. So that's
So in the fashion of the creator of the segment name, Jimmy, why don't you take us into this week's Guy-a-ry?
This is Jimmy Klein from Taint Funny, and I would like to welcome you once again to the Guy-a-ry.
Peering into the inner thoughts and expressions of men. Women submit questions for Adam and Tach to get brutal, honest admissions. We call this the Guy-a-ry. Guy-a-ry? Really? Is that the best we could come up with? All right, Tach and Jimmy. So this week we had 4 questions submitted to the Guy-a-ry.
Okay.
The Guy-a-ry. So I'm going to start off with the first one. None of these girls this week gave names or ages. They just all submitted them just as questions to our show at Living Podcariously email address.
Nice.
And for the future, if you want to submit a question to Tach and myself and any of the guests that we happen to have on that week, send an email to show at Living Podcariously. Put a title in there of like question for the Guy-a-ry or questions for the guys or something like that in there.
And now they know how to spell it.
I'll pick it up. Yeah, now you know how to spell it.
Just open my mouth and out it came.
But this week, all submitted anonymously. So, first question. Is it possible for a guy to love 2 girls? Now, often to me, Jimmy, these questions have so much extra content that could be with them. Like this girl has, a guy, whatever. You can see the context behind the question every time.
You see why they're asking. Yeah.
We're not here to judge these girls.
Correction, you can imagine why they're asking.
Yeah, we're not here to judge these girls that are asking these questions. We're just here to provide our intuition into the minds of men. So, what do you think, Jimmy? Is it possible for a guy to love 2 girls? And I'm assuming it means love as romantically and whatever.
Well, I mean, it depends on if your belief is there's a difference between love and in love. So if she's asking, can a guy be in love with 2 girls? That I don't know, but that sounds like that's not what she's asking. I think, but with that said, it's almost like, yeah, baby, I did fuck her. But I make love to you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that, I'm like, yeah, I do love this chick, but I'm in love with you. You know what I mean? So there could be that kind of thing. But I think so, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of guys, and probably girls too, have been in a situation where you're kind of dating multiple people and you kind of start having a lot of feelings for both. You might be in a state where you find yourself loving 2 different people. Now, that may not be soulmate love, that kind of thing, but I think it is possible, to love 2 people at the same time.
What do you think, Tach?
I think so, absolutely. And being in love with 2 people, yeah. I don't really believe in the whole soulmate thing. Like, I don't think there's just that one perfect person.
You haven't met her yet. That's all that means, my friend.
Maybe so. But the way I look at relationships is this kind of fucked up, but it's true, is you can be with the greatest girl in the world. Okay. She is perfect. You love her to death. But I guarantee you there's always somebody better out there. It's a sad fact, but it's true. But this is where commitment comes into play and all that, or you may never meet that other perfect person.
I do see what you're
All right.
saying.
Did I
but
say my
but I
cat's
think that's-
dying? So
I think that's almost like the grass is always greener kind of thing as well.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like my first motorcycle was a KZ1000. Like, you've seen it, you've ridden it.
yeah.
And for the longest time, I was convinced that that was the absolute best motorcycle that was ever created. Until I rode a GSX-R 750. And I'm like, that is incredible. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
And so I do think there's that element. But that's not to say that the KZ1000 is not still my favorite. It's just not the best ever made. You know what I mean? So I see what he's saying, but at the same time, I think it's a grass is always greener kind of thing too.
Yeah.
The
Otherwise, why would married guys watch porn?
there has porn's a lust thing.
Well, that's true, but it's still the grass is always greener.
Yeah. So there's an entire group out there that are polyamorous, and I mean, polygamists aside, in that society, you've got multiple wives. You know, you've got just extensive families.
I think Mormons, and I'm not trying to point fingers, but don't
No.
Mormons have multiple wives?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Well, not all of them. It's
Certain
more of like an
states.
old school thing. But
Yeah. Lots of religions around the world have that too. I mean, lots of
Oh, yeah.
religions
I think Muslims
support
do
that
as well. Yeah.
Yep. I believe that it's possible to be in love and love multiple women. There's no question, to me anyway. But I do think that there's always a level or a scale or a favorability type of deal when it comes to certain relationships. I'm a big fan of that one true love of your life. And then when you're in love with that person so much that you can't be dissuaded by other, influences to be in love with another person that heavily. I think you can always, respect and admire some girl as much, maybe as, whatever. I just don't think it'll be that same connection you're going to have with that one true love of your life.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
With that being said, I do trying to skirt around a sounding complete dick here, but with that being said, I do believe that a person could be in a relationship, make it work with multiple women, and make sure that everyone knows what's going on, so there's no question, and truly be in love with multiple women at the same time. I truly believe that could happen. So I know I kind of contradicted myself a little bit, but I think that it could happen, just can't happen for me. If that makes sense. All right.
Cool. Makes sense.
Moving on. What is a guy's motivation for having casual sex? This sounds to me like a ridiculous question to ask, but I'm going to be honest and answer the question. So, Tach, I'll start with you. What's your motivation for casual sex?
Jimmy,
first, do you have casual sex? Do you with women? With
my
women?
cat's dying. Really?
With women? You have casual sex with your cat?
No. Not currently. I am not. But do I? Yes.
Okay.
And it's what's the motivation? I guess it does seem kind of odd question, but I get why women would ask that. I don't know. Well, for one thing, it's a good release. If you're not in a relationship,
Stress.
Casual sex is just good for. It's healthy, I guess, kind of, depending on how you do it, I guess. But,
I pulled a groin.
or you can catch an STD or whatever, But also another thing, it's kind of like, well, for me anyway, it's an ego boost. Thank you. God.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an ego boost, kind of like gives you that little more oomph that you need to get you through another month or whatever, Kind of like, I don't know. It is for me anyway. It makes me.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. I kind of fumbled through that.
I'm
whole
similar
answer,
to that.
But
to me, it's a stress reliever. So,
yeah.
I mean, you're going to have the same endorphin rush when you climax either from masturbation or from sex. The same endorphin rush is going to rush. The chemicals are going to flood your system. So you're going to get that same feeling. However, when it's with a partner, you're getting some sort of gratification of acceptance. And that's a big stress relief for a lot of people. So irrelevant of emotions involved with love, that stress relief and, social acceptance is something that's big, I think, for humans in general. Right. So I think the motivation there, to me, stress, and I'm good enough for somebody, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
What do you think, Jimmy? How much, I know you've got a wife, but how much casual sex do you have on the side, aside of your wife?
I think,
See what I did there?
I'm of the mindset where I think it would almost be too stressful. You know what I mean? Like, because there's a certain amount of baggage that comes along with that too. You know what I mean? Depending on the kind of person. Now, if you meet a girl, or if you meet a person of the opposite sex that has a very much male mentality, like this is casual, entertainment, whatever it is you want to call it, then I can see, a case. But I think a lot of guys would agree that most of the time there's other stuff involved.
Emotional connection.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me personally, there's too much stress.
In the girl's side, it's Tach that would have the too much emotional attachment. I just want to cuddle.
I just want to watch
me.
Clueless before we do it. That's wrong with that.
That's one thing I'm not big on. I'm not big on
What do you
cuddling.
mean Clueless? You love that movie.
No, I love Clueless, but I don't love cuddling. I don't love all that shit. And Jimmy answered pretty much exactly how Ron would answer too. Ron's the same way. He was like, I don't know how single guys can fucking do it. He's like, it's too stressful for me. No, I ain't fuck that.
Look, I'm very happy I'm in a relationship now, but it was fun, man. It was stressful. I'm not going to say it wasn't stressful.
I'm in a dry spell, as everybody knows, in a dry spell.
Show at Living Podcariously if you'd like to date Tach.
But I've had some good years. I've had some good times. Over the past 5-6 years.
Been a good run, boys.
It's been a good run. I think my run's over now.
Your run's not over. You just need to get yourself back into the mood.
I guess.
All right. Good answers. All right, moving on. Question number 3 of 4. What is the fascination of virgins?
From what perspective?
The male's perspective.
Okay.
Why are men fascinated with virgins? With a virgin girl.
Virgin girl.
Virgin woman.
I didn't really know that there was
a
a fascination, so maybe I don't have it.
No, that's definitely a fascination of people. I mean, maybe more of a trophy than a fascination. So maybe think of it like a trophy. Well, I mean, the girl says fascination, but
I think there's a certain element to no preconceived notions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if I tell
she
her,
don't know what to expect.
If I tell her 6 minutes is a marathon,
there you go. Yeah.
Well, I think it might come back to like what I was saying, like an ego boost. Like, well, she picked me, she'll never forget me because I was her first. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, I've taken 2 virginities. Right?
Why'd you look at Jimmy? Did you take his?
Yeah.
Did you take Jimmy's virginity?
Well, Jimmy knows both of the virgins.
I know one of them. I'm trying to think of the other one.
You know them both. One was, well,
So
Yeah.
Ron and Eric. Got it.
close. And the other one was...
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
For the listeners out there, I'm just as confused as you.
I'm not mentioning names, not going to say any stories.
No, don't
That's it.
implicate anybody.
No. So, I mean, but I don't really see that as like a huge triumph or anything, especially not the first one, because it was my first time too.
Well, I was going to say, if you were like 15, 16, 17, something like that, then that...
I was 20. Okay.
you know what I mean? If you were a young adolescent.
So my first virgin, I was a virgin too. So, you know. And then, the second one, I didn't even know she was really a virgin until, so. I don't know.
Huh.
But anyway, maybe I don't really have fascination with virgins, so I don't really know.
I think it's, to me, it's a little bit of both of those answers. No,
I don't want somebody inexperienced, just saying,
for an engaging relationship. No, I would agree. I want somebody that's experienced in the bedroom and, no offense. I don't want to have to teach somebody all of the pleasuring techniques.
It's like watching UFC. Like, would you rather watch UFC with somebody that's asking 1,000 questions that doesn't know anything about it? Or a guy that can sit there and watch with him and you'd be like, holy shit, did you see that? And then actually talk on a deeper level. Not that I want to have sex with a guy.
I'm trying to,
or a UFC fighter, unless
I get your
whatever. But
I get your analogy.
yeah, it's a Jimmyism.
It's gonna take me. It's gonna take me a minute to get there. You know what I mean? That's a stretch.
Tach and I call it Tach and I call it a Jimmyism.
Jimmyism.
Yeah.
I think
one time I had a Jimmyism on my back. One time it was gross.
Hell yeah. I wiped it off.
Organism is you. Wait, what? No, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, the knowledge that yes, that will be a very memorable moment for the two of you to share for the rest of your lives is something that's really cool. That's something fun to have. But I also see, you have no criticism coming at all. You know what I mean? It's indifferent of past experiences. I don't know. To me, there's also a confidence issue there too. If I have sex with a girl who's slept around a lot versus a girl who's never slept around at all, I think I'm going to have more fun with a girl that slept around a lot. However, she's got way more to compare on vigorousness of the sex, of, all of the different aspects of what you could possibly do in the bedroom with somebody. The virgin is going to be probably boring unless she's done a lot of research in preparation for this big event in her life. but I don't know.
Well, I think there's also an element like, and again, it's another Jimmyism. Would you rather climb a mountain that 5 people have climbed or one person have climbed?
I love these.
Or would you rather climb a mountain that's like at a state park that people climb every day? You know what I mean?
I like that one better.
You know what I mean?
I like state park.
Wouldn't you rather be like
fair or something?
one of very few guys or the only guy to accomplish something? Or would you rather be a guy like that paid his $5 and gets to do it all the time?
But you're putting you're in that situation though, you're putting the award on the mountain, not on the climber. Do you see what I'm saying?
Possibly, yeah.
Because in my perspective as the climber, I'm there for the experience of the climb. I don't care who's already done it.
Didn't Miley Cyrus say that?
What? She came in like a wrecking
It's
ball?
the climb.
Well, in the original question,
final countdown. I don't know why I started singing that, but
in the question it was, why do guys have a fascination with virgins?
yeah. All right, I see your point. Yeah,
And so, with that said, like, I think it's not necessarily the fascination with the virgin. It's a fascination of, can I do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think
do.
guys will spread that other places too. Like, you can be happily married, you can have 3 kids, and you can be in line at Publix or something and have this girl talking to you, and in the back of your head, you're probably thinking, what if I can get her number?
yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, guys have that way about them.
I think it's important to point out for this questioner as well that not all guys are fascinated with it. I think that's probably a pretty important thing to point
It's
out.
like, I'm not fascinated seeing 2 girls make out. Like, that does nothing to me whatsoever.
I am,
And I don't understand.
I am.
am
There's
too.
no question.
I am too. So
zero
it's
question.
Living Podcariously. No.
Show at Living Podcariously. We actually had that question. I don't know if it was last week or not. Why are guys so fascinated with watching
Talked
2
about it
girls?
recently.
I'm not fascinated by that at all.
To me, it's being able to place yourself into that situation. In your head, the fantasies that you picture when you're masturbating, to get to your point, some guys place themselves in that scenario in their head, and that's sexually arousing to them.
It's kind of neat too that what happened to me. I don't know if any of you guys have done this, but well, probably not Jimmy, but
Oh, that coming off of a masturbation story. I am loving where this is going, Tach. Open up to us. This is your couch.
Well, I laid on my hand for a while. No.
no. The girl I originally lost my virginity to, we'd broken up whatever years went by, but then I got to sleep with her again, like 16 years later. So
it's like a Brady
both
Bunch
of us
reunion.
have had like experience now. So it's almost like, let me show you what I learned.
Yeah.
Since we were together last. So I got to do that, and that was kind of neat. It was kind of fun. Good time.
Sounds like a Brady Bunch reunion.
Yeah. And it wasn't her. It was some other girl playing her.
That's weird.
All right. So last question for the Guy-a-ry. This is a multi-part question.
Okay.
Why is it okay for guys to fart and not girls in a long-term relationship?
Jimmy.
It's funny. My dad, and this sounds so cliche,
Uber.
but before my dad died, he told me, but he really did. He used to tell me and my brothers that you'll know you found the right girl when not only you can fart in front of her and it's okay, but she can fart in front of you and it's okay. So I don't see anything wrong at all with a girl farting, especially if they can joke around about it. To me, that's badass. If she feels that comfortable, it's kind of like sleeping with somebody, not in the sexual sense, but actually sleeping with somebody. That's probably one of the most intimate things you could do with somebody, to be so comfortable enough to sleep next to them. I think farting is like that too.
Yeah, but the intimacy has to have a level. I'm not going to invite a girl into the bathroom when I'm taking a deuce.
Oh, I won't do that either.
You know what I mean?
No.
There's a certain level of intimacy that's just me and my body alone.
Yeah. I
Now,
agree.
have you heard my theory on girls
shitting?
pooping? Yeah.
Ghost shitting?
Ninja shitting?
Yeah, a ninja shitting. That's what you call ninja
Yeah.
shitting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of never knowing about that whole thing happening.
Yeah.
And I've been with women in the past that haven't cared and have had the door open, and we'll have full conversations mid, piping one off, mid squeezing one off.
Right.
And
I was like piping bag. I gotcha.
and that's just, to me, it doesn't make me think less of the person at all. It's just not a situation I want to be around during it happening.
Yeah.
I'll go outside, take a walk, I'll put on some earbuds or something and just be completely tuned out of the whole situation. Farting is a little different. Farting is comical. I mean, let's face it, it's funny.
Yeah.
Everybody shits. It's just, that's a part of nature that I don't care to be around. Farting is funny. I think in certain situations, farting will lighten the mood, will always put a smile on your face. Imagine sitting at Tach's cat's funeral tomorrow and you
somebody
cut a
farts.
fart.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Too soon?
I was in a funny story.
Sorry.
When I was in college, I was in a final exam, and we were in this room, and it was pretty empty room, and it was a little bit of reverberation in the room because there was not very much furniture in there. And I'm sitting there, and it was like a 2-hour-long class. We'd only been in the class like 30 minutes, and we're doing an exam, and it was like whisper quiet.
Yeah.
You know? And I had to fart.
Oh,
right?
no.
And it was one of those things where like it was timed, and it was timed appropriately, so you really didn't have time to go to the bathroom. So I'm doing that thing where you clench up your butt cheeks trying to fart, right? So then I think about it. I'm like, well, maybe if I let it out slowly enough, and this is all internal monologue. I'm obviously not saying this out loud. And so I think if I let it out slowly enough, maybe it'll be like a silent but deadly, right? So I start letting it out, and it comes out as,
oh no,
and it's like 5 seconds long. It's long enough where people can put down their pens and turn and look at me. And even like the teacher, I felt like I was going to pass out. It was horrible. But yeah.
What about you, Tach? Girl farting.
Not a fan.
No?
No,
You need a fan when it happens?
I'm not saying I'm a fan. Like I'm not like hell yeah. That was high five.
I
on
know
that
you're
one.
not saying that. Yay! Yes. No, I don't like a lot of the relationships I've been in. Like there really hasn't been like she never really farted or anything, right? And I always prefer it like that. And same with like going number 2, like that's a private thing.
Yeah, I locked
the only
the door
person
with
that's
that.
ever seen me do that ever, aside from when I was in boot camp, that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
But was this guy here, and that was on accident. So he says, and
you walk in. He walked in on you. You had a laptop on your lap, and
no.
Oh wait, that was the other story.
He walks in and stands there and stares at me for a second. I'm like, and he was like, and then just kept going. But anyway,
That's like how many times have you waited in a public restroom while I'm taking a shit?
well, I mean, it's different. You're not watching me. Like we used to get in stalls next to each other.
You're just propagating your latent homosexuality relationship here, guys. I'm just saying.
There was this one time me and Tach were in Kmart, right? And I had some Christmas lights in my hand.
And this is, by the way, we must have been like 13, 14 years old.
I had these Christmas lights in my hand, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I had to go take a shit. And so I think I handed them to... I brought them in, and I put them on the back of the toilet, not even thinking about it. And I'm in there taking a shit. Meanwhile, Tach's waiting, which probably looks weird because he's just hanging out in the bathroom, like... standing next to the sink,
nobody was in there or anything.
No, but I thought the one guy had come in a couple times.
I don't remember.
But anyways, we get out and loss prevention is standing there waiting for us. And immediately he's like, where's the Christmas lights at? I'm like, they're right here. He's like, well, you need to go up and pay for them right now. Because apparently, like, you're not supposed to take merchandise in the bathroom with you.
Oh, Jesus.
We're 13, 14 years old. We don't know that.
He's like, well, there's a sign right on the door. I'm like, no, there's not. And he's like, go look. So I went and looked, and sure enough, there's a big sign. I'm like, I don't stop and read signs on doors when I got to take a shit.
And men, women, I don't read that either.
At the time, I had long hair, and we got kicked out of the store because they thought we were trying to steal Christmas lights.
No shit.
It was pretty funny, though. But that was one of the times where he had to wait in the public bathroom for me and take a shit. Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan. And one girl I was in a relationship with, we weren't even in a relationship very long. And then just one day she was getting up and like, brr, like it was like a man doing it. And she goes, excuse me. And I was like, I haven't even done that in front of her yet. And it usually takes me a long time to be comfortable with a girl to do that.
That is a great question or a great statement to ask, because one of the 2 follow-up questions to that is, how long do you wait before you're allowed to start doing that in relationships?
Is that the girl asking the guy or the guy asking?
This is the girl asking
us
the
Guy-a-ry Jimmy.
What we think is an acceptable amount of time for those types of things for guys and girls to do together.
If I was a girl, like, well, I mean, I
know that's difficult for you to imagine.
I would answer it waiting. I would wait until he farts in front of me first.
Okay.
Because there's some guys like yourself that may not be that comfortable with girls farting in front of them. But there might be guys like me that are like, I don't give a shit if you fart in front of me. I don't care. Like, yeah. So, and if she wants the Dutch oven you, that's even better. I don't care. Like,
I don't. I prefer like almost like Andrea says, just girls just don't do it.
Yeah, no, girls don't do it at all.
And I'm not super proud when I do it in front of my significant other either.
I'll tell you what, I've been with Andrea now for like 2.5 months, 3 months, whatever it's been, and I just now broke the ice. I just now broke the wind.
Just
in front of
now?
her, like,
I thought that was you. No.
like 2 nights ago.
Are you still uncomfortable doing it in front of her?
Yeah, I always, even in a 10-year marriage that I had prior, I still wasn't very comfortable doing it in front of somebody. It's just, it's because I know what it's going to smell like. Listen, I know my own fumors. I get it. I know what it's going to be. So
I mean, like, me and my wife will be riding in the car, and I know when her window rolls down, I better roll mine down too.
Got
and
it.
she knows the same thing. If my window cracks, she needs to crack her window.
The secondary follow-up question, and this we may not be able to answer, but we're going to give it our best. She says the same thing about the both should this happen and how long should it wait for a girl-girl or a guy-guy relationship. So she wants to know, because some of these people have questions that come in from lesbians or from gays, homosexuals. I don't know the right politically correct term to say there.
African American. Oh, I'm sorry, NASCAR American.
Yes.
What is it?
So in the same situation, is there any difference in a lesbian relationship or a gay relationship? How long should you wait? Should it be acceptable?
I have no idea. I'm not.
I would imagine it's exactly the same as the answer, how we answered it.
Well,
Of course, I would think. Sorry, male on male, I think would be a shorter time period. But
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Because
What?
they both fuck in the butt. Is that?
No, well, I don't do that. I mean, because it's two dudes. Like I don't have a problem doing it in front of you guys.
I
But
think
would in
it's
front of a
fairly common for girls to go use the buddy system going to the bathroom, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I mean, it's fairly safe to assume that a girl's friend is going to see her take a shit before you see her take a shit.
yeah, that's
right?
a really good point.
And so if that's the case, then chances are girls, they probably like lift up a butt cheek when they're around each other. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that two lesbians would feel a lot more comfortable.
Is that before or after their pillow tickle fight?
Yeah,
Freaking-
Tach and I had a conversation about this on another episode, that when girls are together, they're always in bra and panties, if anything.
No, t-shirt and panties.
T-shirt and panties, no bra.
No, bro.
No bra, that's right. They're always swinging pillows,
Right.
and there's always something baking in the oven. Always.
That's true.
Did I add the third one? I added the third one.
No, but I love it. It's awesome.
I agree with Tach, though. I think with two gay men, I think it's
More
probably
acceptable?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because I mean, not to be too great. What am I talking
Male
about?
stereotypes.
I mean, like, you're sticking your dick in his asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have shit on your dick, but you can't smell his fart.
Wasn't that on Friday?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's funny.
so I mean, there's no way that it takes longer. And I'm not being insensitive.
What do you call a guy? What do you
Because you have a gay friend?
I came from theater, yeah. I have a lot of gay friends.
What do you call a
I could say that because I have black friends.
I got family members that are gay.
what do you call a
Urban
gay
friends.
gay guy's queef?
A fart? Sorry.
What?
Just a fart while you're fucking.
Maybe, yeah.
If you're fucking a guy,
Feels amazing.
Tach, last time you were fucking a guy and he farted on your dick, did it feel like a blowjob and sex at the same time? I might cut that out. That was horrible. All right. So those are the 4 questions that we had this week for the Guy-a-ry. Jimmy, it's an honor to have you in here for a segment of the Guy-a-ry since you know it. Yeah, that's really fun. All right. Before we go, before we wrap up the show, Jimmy, is there anything that you want to plug other than obviously it ain't funny, because we'll plug that here in just a few minutes? Is there anything you want to promote or
Maybe anything at all?
do you want to plug Tach while you're here?
Yeah, Taint Funny, but also Attack Films, because we got some exciting stuff coming out as far as videos go. And yeah,
Okay. There's a few places.
Definitely stay tuned for that.
There are, so for the listeners, Attack Films is a joint venture between Jimmy and Tach for film production and editing and directing and starring and stuff like that they do on their own. There's a few friends of mine that I know that could use the work, the expertise of stuff that you guys have put together. You guys have seen some of the work of one of them in particular, and she's now going to be in a movie. Have you seen her latest thing? She's going to be in a movie.
No,
I haven't seen any clips of the movie yet, but there's obviously some filming that's already been happening. But yeah, she's going to be in a movie. Well, let's do some plugging real quick for Taint Funny. Jimmy, thank you so much for coming in here, and you know you're welcome in here
Definitely,
anytime you want to come in. Next time you come,
It's going to be 3 a.m. What the fuck are you doing in my house? You said I was welcome anytime.
next time you come, fucking rope John to your car hood and bring him down here. That's what's going to have to happen to get him in studio. Just saying.
I could totally have taken that the wrong way. Next time you come and rope John to your car, it's like, well,
Oh,
he doesn't really try to run, but
I guess that's a good point. So our listeners can find you obviously on the Taint Funny podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, all of those. How else? Is there another way they can get a hold of you online?
Facebook's
Twitter.
easiest. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Yeah.
What's
I
your?
don't even know.
Yeah. Good job, Tach.
There you go, Kim Kennedy.
At Jimmy Klein Photo
Yeah,
on
that's
Twitter.
on Twitter. Yes.
All right. And you guys Periscope every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's been
Okay.
a while since we have, but
We have.
It's been a while. All right.
And then Jimmy Klein on Facebook.
Very cool.
That or Jimmy Klein
check them out on
Photography
Taint
on
Funny,
Facebook.
and then when you get a name for your podcast that you're going to do for MMA, let us know.
We
We'll
have
start promoting
a website already. I think it's MMACentralFlorida.com.
it. MMACentralFlorida.com.
But
Okay.
that's not necessarily the website. Or that's not necessarily the name of the podcast. That's the website. So,
Well, cool.
yep.
All right, Tach. How can our listeners find you? Same
same,
ways.
yeah, I'm on Twitter at Tach _.
No, it's just at Tach
Just
underscore.
at Tach.
I thought you were trying to remember your last name.
No,
No, did they spell it out? UNDERSCOR.
That would be awesome.
but that is TACH
would be so cool.
_.
Jimmy __, but you have to spell it underscore.
Which underscore? You guess.
Oh, shit.
And then
Spell
obviously they
both
can
of
find you on Taint Funny as well, Tach, right?
Taint Funny.
We keeping you up, buddy?
Taint Funny and Twisted 10 and Living Podcariously.
Yeah.
How about you, Adam? How can people find you?
Facebook.com/livingpodcariously or Facebook.com/thetwisted10.
Don't you have a Twitter also?
Yeah, I don't ever use it.
I know.
Do you guys
don't.
ever, since you guys have been podcasting, do you ever have random people friend request you on Facebook? I
Yeah,
oftentimes
tons.
wonder if it's people from the podcast
Yeah.
because they won't explain, they won't message and say like, hey,
I had two girls that just
Really?
friend requested me, and I messaged both of them. I showed them to Andrea. I'm like, "Do you know
Yeah.
this girl?" She's like, "No." I said, "All right." So I'll send them a message, and they never responded back.
That's what happened to me. Yeah.
Yeah, same
this
here,
woman,
yeah.
same. Just say, do we know each other? And she won't respond back.
Yeah.
So I would say for all the people listening, like if any of the three of us or anybody on, any of the other podcasts mentioned, if by all means, if you're going to contact us, like message us and just say, hey, how's it going? I love the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Podcast, whatever.
That would
And
be
then send the
helpful.
friend request that way because otherwise we think it's some kind of spam or something.
That's exactly correct. You know,
If you like this format of this show, you'll like The Twisted 10. That's Tach and I doing top 10 lists, all unique and original. And we have a very special guest on one of the upcoming Twisted 10. That's Jimmy Klein. He brought a hell of a list to us this week. And
Boom.
it was a lot of fun with a really cool twist that isn't revealed to
there's
the
a
end.
twist within a twist.
It was a
Yeah.
twist within a twist. That's what I'd like girls to do to my... Never mind.
You twisted my dick?
You twisted my dick. But if you want to email us directly, send us an email to show@livingpodcariously, and it can be anything. Segments for the diary, segments for the Guy-a-ry, comments to me and Tach, boob pics, whatever you want to send them on in.
Send them out.
On behalf of Jimmy Klein from Taint Funny, Tach Van Sickle from Taint Funny Twisted 10 Living Podcariously. How many others do you do? And myself, Adam Poston. Thank you for listening to episode number 9 of Living Podcariously. You guys have a good week.
See you. Hey guys, this is Tach from Living Podcariously. You can also check out other content I have. I also co-host a podcast called Taint Funny on iTunes and Stitcher. It's me and 3 of my buddies. We talk about movies, television, video games, comic books, you name it. It's a comedy podcast called Taint Funny. And you can check us out at taintfunnypodcast.com.